Hello everyone, welcome back to Geek It Out. I'm yours truly, Don Nate Bison, here with the boys, DonPrime, Loco Lu, and Oilers Workshop. Yo!
Evening, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Good evening.
It's popping.
Yo, what is up, guys? Oilers Workshop in the house today, y'all. How's your day been, bro?
Been all right. Just been excited when you said, hey, you should come on and talk a bunch of nonsense about Batmobiles. I said, that sounds like my cup of tea.
So if you guys were wondering what we're going to be talking about today, well, it's already in the freaking in the thumbnail already. What if Hottoys does the Batmobile from the Batman, which is one of the best designs I've seen in quite a while, next to the BBS one. But honestly, I'm actually more towards this one than I am with the BBS version, to be fair, because it looks like a literal muscle car, you know, like something that he's straight up just like he just took a muscle car kit and just turned it into damn Batmobile.
Uh-oh.
Amazing.
What do we got here? We got some Supreme Pizza.
Wait, who just came in? Yo, cigars and bacon. Yo, man, how you been?
Good, you guys? How you guys doing?
Good. Oh, damn.
Here's
We
your
already
Supreme
got a
Pizza.
super chat.
Here's your Supreme Pizza.
Uh-huh.
Yo, $5 super chat. What's up, everyone? What's up, bro? How you
What's going on? What's going on? Thank you very much, Carlito's Way.
Carlito's the way. This is the way.
Exactly.
Should change it to Carlitos. This is the way.
This is
Oh, that would be dope.
Exactly. I mean, I'll just tell, I know there's a lot of people who love the Batmobile, and I think it's dope. But when I look at this Batmobile, I honestly see a Viacon from Transformers Prime. And you know, it's got that same design, it's got that same aesthetic, and it's also got like the raised fin in the back. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because that kind of like muscle car look is kind of iconic across any franchise. It's just that's the first thing I thought of. You know, Steve the Viacon is the Batmobile.
When I saw it in action, I love the Dodge. I love Challengers, and I feel like it's giving me Challenger vibes, like the feeling of the car. You know, if Batman, went crazy with the Challenger, and I love it. I love it.
That's pretty cool. Oh my god, yeah, I didn't even think about the Challenger too. I'm like, wow, yeah, he just took the Challenger and just turned it to the freaking Batmobile.
Yeah.
Lane Craver with the $2 super chat.
What up,
We all need more Batmobiles in our lives. True story.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact he actually has a turbine, like a jet turbine in there with full, like a legit afterburner capacity. That's why when you see even in the commercials or the promos, like there's the engine in it, it flames on. That's like a real life, quote unquote, for the movie. Yeah. Like that's a small jet engine on a fighter that has afterburn capability. So, you know.
Yeah, that reminds me. Did you see what Joyce put on the Facebook, Jazz Inc?
Jazz Inc, yeah.
Did you see the video and hear the engine?
No, I haven't seen that one yet, but we'll look at that. We'll look at that later today too. We'll look at those later today too, because he's doing a fine job with his stuff.
Until you pick it up and it breaks.
I'm tempted. I'm really tempted, but I'm like, I got all these other vehicles I'm working on, and if Hot Toys decides they want to drop theirs along the way, like I can be patient. I don't have to jump in the next Batmobile right now, you know. And if Hot Toys decides to do one, I'll be very interested, especially if they're literally teasing it right in front of our eyes. And that's the thing I want to do today is delve into it and analyze it. You know, thanks to the help of Oilers Workshop's a photo he shared with us. He broke it down, and I want him to actually. That's why I brought him in today. I'm like, I would love to, hear his thoughts, like as he was breaking this down.
Just opinion too, so I totally could be wrong, but it's looking at it for the eyes of somebody who paints small miniatures and items and makes things. I feel like I see a lot of evidence that is a small item, like for real, in that image.
Very interesting. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
but
I
like
got
it was no, and the
The
stuff.
Razor Crest right here too, and I can show you what I'm talking about on my Razor Crest and why I feel like the concepts translate.
Yeah, even on like 3D print stuff, you can tell.
Yeah.
So there's definitely certain areas where the paints, if it was plastic or like, let me rephrase it. The paint will react differently, like you were saying, to certain areas if it was real.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like there's some really obvious evidence in a few places. Other places look super hyper real, but that's Hot Toys, right? There's a few places that look very telling to me. And I actually, I went on Google and I image searched every other company's Batmobile they've made in every other scale that I could find and found rear end pictures and looked at them just to make sure Hot Toys didn't do something weird like take someone else's picture and then Photoshop their picture to make it look different and put it in theirs. They didn't, for sure. That is definitely unique to Hot Toys. Whatever they have is theirs. It's not a copy of anybody else's. I looked at the real one too.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right, because people out here do think that it was literally a Photoshop picture. Like someone like Hot Toys took the picture from another scene or whatever, or I
really don't think so.
Yeah, I mean,
they photoshopped the lighting really well then, because remember when we were talking about it the other day,
For
we
sure.
brought up that you could tell it was real just because of the way the light was hitting the vehicle and how it matched Batman.
Yeah, but I mean, and you got to think that might be a Hot Toy prototype, because from what we've seen, we haven't seen the rear end, or at least a completed rear end of a Jazzy car, and that was the complete rear fuselage that would hold the jet engine, including the roll cage and the roll bar and the assembly ports. So that was a mock-up that was already done of the rear, and as far as we know, Jazzy doesn't have that yet. So
no, and the difference between Hot Toys and Jazz Inc., if you look when they turn their lights on, they don't have the red lights on the rear like the Hot Toys one in the photo where the tail lights are on.
So
I have the Razor Crest here. And if you look at it, I don't know if you can see it in my camera, but if you look at the seams in between things, there's a certain thickness in the paint where seams join up, where you can tell there's an overlayment of paint that adds to the thickness of what the original mold was. Because when you paint a car at full scale, you're going to have a certain amount of millimeters of paint. But when you paint a miniature car, it's the same, going to be the same paint. Paint doesn't scale down, for the most part. You can't really do that. And so when you paint 2 or 3 layers of paint on a miniature model, the layer is thicker. And so the seams will look slightly less sharp than they would in real life. And there's evidence of that on this Razor Crest, even though it's done really, really well. You can see at certain angles that certain intersections of joints and panels are slightly more maybe bulbous looking than they would be on a sharp chrome thin piece of metal if it was real. And I see evidence of that in that picture by Hot Toys.
I got you. Before we start looking at the photo that Oilers shared with us, I would like to share Oilers Workshop's actual channel. If you guys ever want to head over and look at for tips and tricks and some of the work he has done with diorama pieces and whatnot, it's crazy. It's crazy the stuff he can do with just buying simple stuff. It's crazy. His first video I found him. It was because of a Death Watch unboxing, which led into a diorama piece with that too. I was like, okay, so I like this guy. So if you guys ever want to check him out, there's a workshop.
Thank you.
And he's always in the chats too. So I was like, okay, so I got to bring you in sometime at some point in the streets because of his knowledge of diorama pieces. So and paint applications.
Thank you. Yeah, this is what I'm working on right now. It's the danger room for the So Toys Gambit.
Oh, nice.
We're building this live on my channel, so I'll be working on this tonight. The first part of this, the bottom, is already up on my channel. We did that last Sunday, and so this is going to be for Mr. Gambit here.
Wow,
where am I at?
That is awesome.
And it's going to be transforming into the Savage Land. So tonight we're going to start building a tree, like a swampy tree that's going to go in the middle, and then we're going to put like a dinosaur footprint over here on the left side, and like rocks and water effects and stuff, and just go insane with it.
Man.
Is that the Social Toys Gambit, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I have that one too. I love that thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a few complaints I have with it, but it's pretty great for having a 1/6 scale Gambit. So,
gotcha. But all right, guys, let's move over to the photos real quick. I'm going to show you the original photo that Hot Toys teased the Batmobile with, and then we'll move on to the analysis by Oilers, and we'll check them out in a bit. So here's the original photo here from Hot Toys. And when we first saw this, we were like, "Okay, it's happening! It is happening, y'all!" I'm excited even seeing this, but I know around the media's, social media, whatever, people were saying that okay, this is Photoshop, this is not real. Hot Toys is teasing us. They're playing games with us, kind of like another solo situation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Bestman Han. There you go. He sees us Bestman Han. It never happens.
it's a pretty tantalizing tease, I must say, because that looks amazing with that figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were already in love with this figure already, and I already in love with the movie. 9 out of 10 for me. No spoilers. I don't want to get into spoilers as of right now, but after Monday, we're open to spoilers. So any talks of spoilers after Monday, it's free. As of right now, we no spoilers until tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can't tell them that Iron Man's in the movie?
Dang it!
Really?
Ruined it for me. I'll go see it next weekend.
You mean the cameo by Deadpool to merge universes? Oh crap!
Oh no. Yeah, that's the big secret with Doctor Strange, right? They're bringing in the DC universe now.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the scary thing is DC actually did work with Marvel on Peacemaker and then Guardians of Galaxy 3. So who knows at this point?
I could go deep down that rabbit hole if you want, because there's evidence laid out there. There may be some crossover down the road.
Wow.
James Gunn is the connective tissue, and James Gunn has been working on characters in the comics that have actually had crossover cameos. In the Quasar comic books, there is a Flash cameo in the Quasar comics, and he's going to be bringing in Quasar. James Gunn is. And then in the Donny Cates Thor run that's still running in Thor issue 2, Donny Cates, that's currently writing Thor, that is bringing in some of the inspiration for the next Thor movie, talks about Green Lantern, Flash, and Superman in Thor number 2. And in Doomsday Clock number 12 that came out a couple years ago, Dr. Manhattan talks about Thor and Hulk. So it almost seems like there's some subtle hints being dropped that the companies are like talking to each other.
Well, that will be the next big thing next to like something out of EndGame, but like EndGame meets Multiverse of Madness at this point, bringing all these freaking characters together. Like it has been done before in the comics, but as far as like film, it will be a wild take. It'll be a wild take, even if Warner Brothers and Disney want to join forces for one big mega cameo.
I'll tell you what, I would love to see the big magazine size comic that they did with Superman versus Spider-Man. I'd love to see how they do that.
Wow.
But I don't think it will be one movie though. It have to be at least a trilogy just to get that right.
Yeah. I have a X-Men versus the Teen Titans comic over here.
Yeah, didn't they do a Marvel versus DC like back in the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the comics I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then there was a run where like Superman actually was yielding Mjolnir.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds cool, man. I don't know. That sounds like cash money in the bank, right?
Yeah, but the egos though, they gotta get that squared away. Like, who gets the bigger cut here? Who cares? We all making money.
With Sony, they seem to have let Sony kind of have their share of the pie, and then Marvel's just benefiting from the storytelling. I've noticed that it seems like with Sony, they're letting them have their say, and they're just kind of giving them and advising them, and then Marvel's treating it as marketing for their own future movies. I feel like it's like investment in your future, and letting Sony have the cash. So that's a way they could do it, Marvel and DC. Investing in the future of both of their companies. That's my thing.
Well, we'll see what happens. You never know. Like we didn't even think that MCU was going to be able to come to fruition with just one Iron Man movie. You know, people probably thought that it's going to be maybe 1 or 2 movies, and then they'll just cancel the whole thing. And here we are. So you never know.
Yeah, it's 28 movies down the road now, right?
Yeah, exactly. But Oilers. So here's the photo you sent us a few days ago. You know, detailing how you felt about the situation. I know you already mentioned it. With the Razor Crest already, but this is an example I wanted to share. You know, in the chat as well. You know, our viewers to have an idea of what's going on in your your expertise mind here.
I want to be expert mind. Yeah, I was kind of playing out my being Batman fantasy detective with this picture.
Yeah, your Batman detectiveness here. So here we have the seam down line and on the evenness of the reflections indicative of something small and covered in thick layer of paint. This wouldn't occur at life size.
That's the biggest giveaway for me, for sure. Do you want me to talk about them, or just you want to read them all?
No, talk about it. Yeah, go ahead.
That was the biggest giveaway. When I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, they made that, because where those two joints align, that looks like a painted model kit to me. Not that, I mean, it's not a model kit. They made a prototype, but to me, it looks like if you were joining two parts of a strut or like the undercarriage of a chassis of a model car, you paint two pieces, you glue them together. One of them you happen to paint a little bit more paint on than the other one. And when you put them together, they misalign. I guarantee you the special effects artists and prop guys who made the life-size car for the movie would not have done that bad of a job. And it's not a bad job, but I just mean like if they were making the prop for the movie, they would have made sure that thing is laser perfect, laser straight and clean. That is not, which leads me to believe that is at a smaller scale with thicker paint, and the joint is slightly misaligned right there, and you can tell. And then also it's kind of hard to see, but if you were to zoom in, the actual reflectiveness along the straight edge of that, it's not perfectly even. It waves back and forth a little bit, which means there's uneven paint. Like they painted a couple layers of paint, sanded it, and then threw a gloss coat on, and then you can see a little bit of the waviness. On a full-size car, that again, made by a prop department that specializes in this, they're going to make sure that thing looks perfect before they put it in front of a camera. So there's no reason to think, in my opinion, that this is, at least even on that, just that alone, that this was an image sent to them by Warner Brothers or DC to use as a promo. This looks like a model to me, even just off that alone.
So it was like your big light bulb moment where when you notice that this could be a possible miniature.
Yeah, for sure. And then, yeah, that was the biggest tell for me. And as I was glancing around all the other things, I don't know if you want to read them or you want me to read them, but those are the other things I kind of noticed that they didn't really fit for a life-size object to me.
Oh, yeah, if you want, you can read can you read this one right here?
Yeah, so I just notated that single point of light. Like, so you look in the taillights, there's a really, really bright spot right on one side, and it's off center. So it's a single point of light without even dispersion inside the shroud. It's indicative of LEDs and not the reflective diffusion you would have inside a life-size taillight. Inside a normal taillight, there's chromatic material lining the taillight to disperse the light, and the shroud is either like textured with vertical lines or is shaded to create a glowing effect. To me, this looks like an LED that's placed backwards into the side wherever they could fit it. And then there's some type of clear plastic or acrylic or plexi or whatever is there with like a red sheet of plastic, or it's red plastic, because they haven't had the time to work out how they want to disperse the light yet. So it just looks like an LED behind red plastic to me. It doesn't look like an actual made tail light.
Let's see. A single IRS says one LED light, all three brake lights, cost effective.
Yeah, that makes the point too, is like you see one bright point, but in a real car, you'd have three separate lights wired up. Just, that's, again, that even adds to it there.
Wow. That's, again, very interesting. So, and let's move on over here to the thickness of the edge. Indicative of paint on plastic, meaning is definitely not life size.
Yeah, if you look at the thickness of that, and it is also that it's cut at an angle on a normal, actually I think I have one down here. Yep, I use this to form metal around when I make armor. This is a tailpipe. Look at how thin that metal is. And so if you take this and you cut it at an angle, and even if you powder coat it, you cut this at an angle and you powder coat it, that is extremely thin in comparison to what you're seeing in that image. So again, to me, that looks like molded scale plastic that they've painted paint over, and now the thickness of that edge is showcasing that it's a smaller item because it's the same thickness of paint you put on the life-size one, but when you shrink it down, it looks thicker in comparison to the rest of the object around it. So that looks like, to me, a scale tailpipe.
Wow. It's crazy you're able to see all this, just by just one photo. It's just, I think you're bringing out the tools and your your skills with craftsmanship. And you're like, yeah, I couldn't, just break this down in front of you guys.
But I spend a lot of time staring at stuff that other people have made and thinking about how they did it, and then kind of trying to reverse engineer it so I can make stuff. So that's where this comes from. There's a lot of time thinking about this stuff.
Oh, okay, so it's kind of you're right. Yeah, like reverse engineering. Yeah, you're right. Yo.
That's what I do. I look at stuff and I try to figure out how it was made and then how I can kind of make it my own. And so I do this all the time in steered objects. And again, I could be wrong about this, but I just feel like there's enough evidence to suggest that this is something that they definitely made and is in 1/6 scale.
Yeah, it's a what if situation here. So yeah. It's what if Hot Toys did make this, and if this is true, there is a prototype somewhere of the Batmobile, a 1/6 scale Batmobile from the Batman. If if all the analysis is correct, it's something out there, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And also, Safeful says you're Jim Gordon, sir.
Yep.
I'll take it. He was great. He was great in the movie.
Your sleuth skills on discovering everything in this photo would do Batman very proud. He's giving you the thumbs up.
Sounds good. I got the big man. Oh, not that shoulder. Over here.
Yeah. I got the same piece, but I got the black version.
It's a great sculpt. I love it.
So what is the last one you have here that you were analyzing here in this photo?
So it says speckling of paint is from factory process to simulate life-size weathering. If actual life-size, this would not appear speckled, but more faded and shaded. So that one was another one. It's hard to tell, but if you look below the center seam, like the seam you can see, it's kind of blue on top. And under that, it's like speckling of like a bronzy color.
Yeah.
To me, that looks simulated because on a normal tailpipe, unless the tailpipe, again, or a smog pipe, whatever that is, unless the metal was poured unevenly and it was cast unevenly, or however these are made, I think it's welded. Sorry, it's got a seam. But however this metal is made, if it's not made with a consistent alloy and you heat it up, you're going to get a solid fade of like blue to purple. And that's what happens. Like when you shoot a gun, the tip changes from blue to purple to gold to back to silver. That's the heat happening, and it's a slow gradient of color change. But that's hard to paint at a tiny scale because you have to basically use an airbrush to paint, and let the overspray overlap the next layer of color. So to paint that on every Batmobile would not be cost effective. So they'd have to come up with a way to simulate that. And so to me, that looks like either digital painting, screen printing, or sponging. I'm leaning towards sponging since it's probably a maquette or like a prototype, where you take a sponge and you dip it in a thinned out, probably like an oil paint that's thinned out with alcohol or water, depending on the type of paint. And then you just dab it on and you get little dabs of it. And as you dab, the sponge gets drier and the paint gets thinner. So it looks like it's fading, but you can just dab really quick and move on to the next Batmobile, like an assembly line. And so the best example I can think of that Hot Toys has already done that, almost that exact thing on, is the Iron Man Striker, the one where he's got the big yellow like punching arms for doing construction. Yeah. The brown weathering on him looks just like that. It's like it looks stippled on, that's called a stippling technique, where you dab with a bunch of little points. Yeah, it looks stippled onto him. It looks just like that, but on that Iron Man. I don't have it. I sold mine a while ago, but if I had it, I'd pull it up to the camera and show you. That looks like factory stippled on paint effect to me.
Wow. Now this is like opening up my eyes to the point that Hot Toys, it did make something out here and they haven't showed it yet. They're probably waiting to flex on us on it. I'm hoping they are. I'm hoping flex hard. Okay, I want you to flex everything about this Batmobile when it's ready to come out. Like, you already got the Batcycle, set up and ready. Give us the Batmobile.
I didn't put a note about it either, but if you look right above that pipe and you see the circle within a circle and that angular piece.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right there. That also, just the thickness of those and the radius of those curves doesn't look as fine as I think it would look on a full size engine. And I don't see a hexagonal, you can kind of see a hexagonal shape around that. I'm assuming that's a nut that holds whatever that is, the front plate with the flywheel or whatever, where I can't tell where that is on the engine or which way the engine's facing. But that does, I feel like you'd be able to clearly tell. And if it was a real nut, it'd probably be chrome. And it's not. So it looks like they painted that whole area the same gray and then just put some washes over it. And that's farther forward in the light, or hitting a different light. So again, I'm looking at this from a model maker's perspective. There's a few things here that feel like a model. And again, I could be wrong, but they really look like a miniature scale model to me that's just done really, really well.
Wow. And, some people are saying that the Hot Toys may have just created the backside of the vehicle and called it a day.
That's true.
That's another thing that's I'm kind of like, I'm hoping it's not the case. I hope they did do the full vehicle and they're just teasing us the backside what the engine is.
Yeah. Also, if you look at even I was talking about the paint before, if you look at the surround, the triangle shaped surround around the lights, the bigger surround, it just everything looks thicker than it should be. The paint and the seams and the joints, which means it just looks like it's a small model with thick paint over it. It just doesn't look as refined as I think it would look at full size. Not that it doesn't look refined, because Hot Toys makes refined products, but I just feel like there's some tells there. Unless they photoshopped it so much that it just looks that way now, but I just don't feel that being the case. And I couldn't find any direct on images of this piece. I did a Google search and a kind of DuckDuckGo search to make sure Google wasn't filtering, to see if there was any images I could find like this that they may have taken from Warner Brothers promotional art and used differently. I couldn't find anything. And all the other companies' models, the Hot Wheels 1/10 scale model and some of the other toys, they don't look anything close to this. So it just makes me feel like this has to be a prototype Hot Toys was making. Some of the other evidence that I was thinking about too is, I think one of you guys mentioned on that last stream that they have probably got the all of the data and information from the product marketing teams and all the people who reach out to the toy companies and manufacturers. They probably got all that information, I think somebody said 8 months ago, so they could start working on these prototypes and have them ready for the film.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that maybe, and I was trying to think of when Jazz Inc. announced that they got licensed with Warner Brothers. And I don't remember, you could probably look this up in the Facebook group. I didn't have time to, but I think they got the approval for the licensing from Warner Brothers for these vehicles probably around that time. So this might have been when Hot Toys would have normally been the one who would be doing this, and they were already in development on it, and then the license got given to Use and his team, or is shared for this movie. I don't know, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, there's a lot of talks about that too, that if this could be shared. Loco Lu shared with us, thoughts on that as well, that it would be possible that, Hot Toys would be sharing the license once they sell license with Jazz Inc. to create this.
Yeah, it's like I think it was Bob Dylan who put me onto that and said that it's not beyond the realm of possibility, because just because a license is given to one company, that doesn't mean it's not given to another. There's no such thing as a property that's being licensed out is exclusively to one specific company or entity. So
yeah, I think I've noticed in the statue world that it seems to be licensed out per scale, but I've also seen other companies do multiple scales though that are the same, just a different take. So I saw one the other day. I can't remember which character it was, but there was a character I saw where I think I saw Iron Studios, which focuses a lot on 1/10 scale. Mm-hmm. They did a 1/10 scale of a figure. And then I think I saw somebody else do a 1/10 scale of a figure, but it was different materials and different price points. So the 1/10 scale from Iron Studios is going to be like $150. And I think it was like one of those toy ones you get off the shelf in like Target, made out of like rotocast vinyl. Yeah. And that was like a $50 price point. So it's the same scale licensed out for the same character to two different companies, but for sort of two different markets. So that could be another thing here. Like maybe they're going to give it to both of them and let Hot Toys cover their bases with their collectors and let Juiced go all out, because he's going to do like that he's doing that full on detailed interior, probably more in my opinion than Hot Toys would do. Juiced is going to be doing. So you know, we'll see.
Did you see that video that he put out earlier on Facebook where he has it rolling very slowly and you hear the sound?
I see that. I heard that.
And then the direct video underneath it is just the sounds, and you hear the engine revving up. It was dope.
I didn't get a chance to see the video, but I've seen a lot of the pictures and still shots from that video. That's incredible.
I wanted to share this from Single Songwriter. March 11th, the Batman premieres in Japan, and March 18th premieres in China. I think anytime after that, we should see at least the Batcycle first, then the car later this year. If the car does come out, I can see the car being like a SummerCon reveal, like a SummerCon, Toy-Con exclusive reveal, exclusive reveal. Like, it's not exclusive. Like, it's not a Toy Fair exclusive. They wouldn't make a
premiere.
Batmobile. Premiere. There you go. Premiere reveal. You know, like they do all the time between summer and fall.
That makes a lot of sense, Single Songwriter, too, because if China is Hot Toys' main market, like I think, what is it? They're a Korean company, but everything's done in China for the most part as far as the product releases and manufacturing, and in Hong Kong. So once China's released the movie, it would make sense, since they're the primary market, to then advertise that. You know, that timing might make sense if they do have it in the works.
What's up, Big Dog Pound One?
Big Dog Pound One.
Brother.
Yo. Now, it's gonna get interesting because, you know, people are really pushing Jazz Inc. because you know, Jazz Inc. does have a license right now with DC, and we might as well. It could be possible that we will see that Hot Toys might not be able to do a proper Batmobile because Jazz Inc. has the exclusivity for that. It might happen, but
do you know if you said that? I watched the stream where he announced this, but I've forgotten most of what he said. Did he explain if they had the license for all 1/6 scale vehicles or just like rolling chassis 4-wheeled cars? Because if he has the vehicle license, it would make sense that they wouldn't be able to do the Batcycle either. But
he's doing the Batwing from '89 as well.
Yeah, okay, there you go. That answers the question. I forgot about that. So that's what I wonder is if Hot Toys is going to release any vehicles if the license is taken from them, or if it was granted to them, you know, Jazzy instead. What right would they? Or not? I shouldn't say that. But what circumstance would they have to release one or both if the license isn't theirs, unless this is part of sort of a transitional agreement between Warner Brothers and these companies where the timing works, where they both have opportunity or whatever contracts they have signed to release the same thing.
Yeah. Single Star says all DC vehicles. Okay. So if that's the case, then Hot Toys wouldn't have not gave us the prototype to the Batcycle then.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. You know, I know this is on everyone's mind is like, are they just trying to showcase what could have been, or do they have a shared license for this movie? You know?
No, it's until we see Hot Toys drop something, then it'll probably be like Single Star says, a healthy competition there. Competition is healthy, so it's quite possible that, you know, Hot Toys and Jazz Inc. are working on their vehicles and their versions. So if you like the smoke and spinning rims from Jazz Inc., go with that. I doubt Hot Toys would give us smoke, you know, with their version. So,
and sound effects. Don't forget the sound effects. There's sound effects in that bad boy.
Yeah.
And he adjusted the lights. The lights was originally like a hot white for the headlights. He put it back to an amber yellow.
See, my cause is saying, I'm not sure if it's smart for Hot Toys to drop another vehicle anytime soon. They would be forcing collectors to choose or pass on something they normally could sell if staggered the releases. Here's the thing, though, like they do that for Iron Man all the time, though, and Spider-Man. We see like every Spider-Man every freaking month, or every other month for Iron Man. So
look how much Batman stuff we got. We got a lot of Batman stuff.
About time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that, you know, honestly, it would be not smart for Hot Toys to do that because it would, you know, force collectors to choose, you know, but they've done it before. They've done it, and they're probably going to do it again.
Yeah.
Hot Toys is Green Goblin. You must choose.
Arguably they did that right with the DeLorean. Like to some degree, that seems logical. That they're like, "Hey, check out this. Look over here." You know, I think Denobi was talking about breaking that down a lot for you guys, and everybody's been talking about that. But yeah, competition. I mean, that's the nature of business in a society like the one we're in. So you can't put it past them if they're going to want to do that to try to take what they can get for their collectors and buyers,
especially if they're hungry for pre-orders. Because I'm feeling like they're becoming more like a Kickstarter type of a scenario here with all these pre-orders. Like we're collecting more pre-orders than we are collecting actual figures at this point. So
yeah. What was it? Somebody commented on one of your streams that if Hot Toys released every figure they had coming this year within the time frames, they'd have to release a figure like every 4 days or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, someone said that. Oh, Sean Donnelly broke that down. If they had to release every figure, it would have to be within every 4 days, right? So the ones that are backlogged, and if they continue with the delays.
My only concern is if they do this vehicle and do that, you know, I am admittedly collecting less and less and spacing out my buys more and more, like everybody else has been talking about, and I'm kind of trading now. To keep my collection a certain size. I'm selling off to replace when I wait for something I really want. And if I'm imagine there are some other people doing similar things and they're going, okay, I don't know when things are coming out. I don't know how much money I'm going to have in 6 months, a year, 2 years. So I'm going to wait. And then that's going to kill their pre-order, like Kickstarter model. Like you said, if everybody starts dialing back on pre-orders and they're working on a cash flow model where they need the money continually revolving and suddenly it just tanks off because nobody's placing pre-orders or way less people are, they're going to have to depend on new collectors coming in to do that and hope they'll jump in, or they're going to have a problem because if their cash flow drops off that dramatically, like let's say 50% of collectors decide to just wait until it comes out, then their cash flow drops off for pre-orders, 40, 50, 60%. They won't have the funds to test out and prototype new things, which means less will be coming out for us later. So it will not only shoot Hot Toys in the foot, but it'll shoot the collectors in the foot who want more later because they'll see a sudden drop off in about, what is that? That'll revolve to around 2 to 3 years out when all these pre-orders actually start coming out. They won't have pre-orders to offer people because they won't have the money for the R&D. So it's a weird cycle I think we're going to be in for the next 5 years, where in 2 to 3 years you might see way less offered if that happens. If that doesn't happen, then forget it. It'll just keep going. But
yeah. In the history of collecting, has there been a company that took sort of like the same route, or like what may happen with Hot Toys?
Tons of small companies, lots of small companies. They go in and they offer 1 or 2 figures. They release one, and the next one they don't do. I can't remember the names of the companies, but Robert Meyer Burnett's talked about a few. I think Justin's talked about a few. They've mentioned those concerns. I didn't buy any of those figures, so I can't remember them. But it happens, especially with smaller companies. But that doesn't mean a bigger company can't struggle with the same basic, flow of resources.
Yeah, I was gonna say that maybe this is just them riding the wave because we got tons of pre-orders, right? That's a lot of R&D already in what's already been announced, right? But remember, these figures are not meant for everyone. This is for specifically those who can afford to get into this game, because this game is not meant for everybody.
No,
it is not. So with that, you're already taking a big chunk away from the regular collector versus the very niche collector, the collector that's like, okay, I'm getting into this is my thing, I'm gonna keep doing it. Even with one-offs, he's like, okay, let me get this Spider-Man, let me get that Iron Man, I'll get a Hulk. Ooh, let me get that Batman. That Batman's looking great. But it's always keeping the collectability with Hot Toys. It's coming back. It's just that with this like bombardment of waves, it's just gonna push people to be more selective. And even with these selective movements that they're doing, is bringing back Hot Toys to what it was originally, and that is a collectible market where things are collectibles, and it has a certain rarity to it, which also increases the value with it. So you're seeing that with Star Wars. Remember, they sit now, they're shooting up to $600-700 for a figure.
So that's a plus with the whole thing I was explaining. That's a huge plus to that, Loco Lu, because if they do drop off in what they offer, then their stuff will be rarer as time goes on, and what you have will be worth more or more sought after, or the stuff they do release will be more sought after. So it could work out. It could kind of flow back up for them because of that very thing.
I was going to also say this though. Well, let me see. Wait. Was there a comment here I was going to bring up? Okay, I'll bring a comment later. But Cigars Bacon, he just shared me on a private chat. I can't really show this because YouTube tends to be a bit controversial and very sensitive to these subjects. But as of right now, with the state of things in the world, Hong Kong is laying off people. So that could also be right now as we speak. So that could be another issue that's happening. Maybe that cash flow is needed to keep things afloat over there right now.
Yeah, because that article I sent you, that came out today, and that was the report from over the weekend with Hong Kong's economy, and they're going through some really bad stuff. If you read through the article, like the amount of loss monetarily, that could probably put a damper on releases and cause more delays, especially in the article saying that layoffs are just coming one after another, and it's massive amounts of people being laid off at once.
Yeah, me and my wife, we just experienced some things right now. I posted it on my channel, my community tab, but I got a product I haven't opened yet called a Doer. It was a Kickstarter project I funded back in October of 2019. I just got it last week. It was supposed to ship the following April, so I was only supposed to wait 6 months. And then the situation hit, and it delayed it to whole 2 years because of all this production. And it's all plastic and metal stuff that's already on these assembly lines. And then about 4 weeks ago, my wife ordered some shoes. She wanted these new comfy shoes. We had no idea the company's distribution was based out of Hong Kong, and she ordered them. We assumed they would be shipped within a few days and arrive within a week or two, a couple of weeks at the most. We didn't get any updates for 3 weeks, and I finally contacted the company. They sent me a tracking order that was a lot like the tracking order number, like the DHL ones. And the last update that I have is that it left its origin of Hong Kong 2 Saturdays ago, and we ordered it 5 Saturdays ago, and it's just shoes. So they're already made. So it's it could get rough for Hot Toys with all these, with how everything's being affected, for sure.
That's sort of scary. Let me see. I think Don. I think Denoy was talking about certain companies, they didn't survive the pandemic. So
exactly.
I just hope that Hot Toys is able to pull through with this one, with this turn of events right now, because we got a lot of things happening.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is too, it's I'm also at this point, like I was saying, I'm kind of limited what I look at, but also what I buy, but I'm kind of looking at other things. I mean, I saw Batman. I'm not getting this figure. I mean, if anything, I'd get the DX Spale that's coming up. But I'm also
that's right, Don. We've heard your thoughts about getting this figure, right? Yeah, it's a do not for you.
Yeah, it's a do not for me.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
After giving the movie an 8 out of 10, it's a do not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, if the movie would have been a 9 or higher for you, would you be getting a figure?
No.
Oh, okay.
Collection placement. What fits in your collection? What do you want represented in your collection? And I know exactly where Don's coming from. He's like, if I had to choose, this is mine. This is the one I want. That's who's your Spider-Man? You can have a Spider-Verse like everyone else is doing, but who is your definitive Spider-Man? Is it Toby? Is it Andrew? Is it Tom?
Exactly. Yep.
You pick and choose. And that's another way to condense your collection or keep it from outgrowing your hobby.
I love that one.
My baby. That's my baby.
I love that one.
Ben Riley's a clone. He's not.
He's been sitting
Spider-Man.
on my shelf taking pictures of me drinking a coffee for like a year and a half now.
I love that figure so
He
much.
is the best Spider-Man.
That
Sorry.
It's amazing.
That is
Every
real.
time you say that, Lou, I look over at my figure and I'm like, "Yep,
Yep.
Thank
Yeah.
you. See, I got confirmation, baby.
I'm with you on that 100%." I had
Mhm.
the 2099. I had I forgot what other one I had. I had another one, and those are the only ones I've ever bought from Hot Toys. But this is amazing, absolutely amazing. And I
Yeah.
posed him and reposed him. Still looks brand new.
Yeah, I got lucky with a wait list with that one years back, and it's still in my collection too. So I love that thing. Let me see. Carlitos Away says, "Do you see the market correcting itself and Hot Toys scaling back at some point? Seems like they are flooding the market not only with releases but with actual units."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if you look at what we have delayed for the past 2 years, Pennywise, Django, what else? There's a
Ahsoka.
lot. There's a lot. So with us knowing that there's going to be a delay within like a 2-year window,
Mm-hmm.
this is what you're going to get for the next 4 or 5 years. Regardless of whatever they're going to announce for between now and 2024, 2025, you're not going to see those until the end of that specific decade. You get what I'm saying? Because they'll pump something out if it's popular now, and then they'll put a little hold on it, wait for the pre-orders to come in to fulfill it, or do what they did with Heavy Mando. Once they're out, they're out. They're not touching it no more. It's done.
With that in mind, I totally agree with what Denobi was saying on one of your streams a couple days ago, where he was explaining that it almost seems like a unintentional pyramid scheme with Hot Toys.
Yes, a Ponzi scheme.
Ponzi scheme.
Where they're pulling in all
Yep.
this cash with promises. They'll deliver, but it might take them a long time. And with, you look at how things do just keep getting delayed out. It was like 7 to 8 months way back in the day for figures. Then it went to a year. Then it went to a year and a couple months. Then it went to a year and a half. Now we're reaching 2 years on a lot of these figures. And I don't see that getting shorter, at least yet, unless there's a dial back in the production, how many they produce and how often they produce and how often and the lines that they produce. And with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming up, I shared on one of my live streams some of the things that I know are going to be in that movie from a leaker that is reliable, and I won't share them here. But if even half of what he said comes to be true, I don't see why they wouldn't want to make about 5 or 6 figures at least from that movie. There's a couple of things that have been confirmed to be true that are going to be happening in that film that if Hot Toys makes, the collecting community is going to flip their lid and they're going to sell 20,000 billion units of. And it's not something that's advertised at all. But if the leak is true, everyone's going to want one. And there's no way Hot Toys wouldn't capitalize on that. Then you have Thor coming out. There's going to be a new suit for all of those figures. You're going to have a couple new characters. It's like, at the rate they're doing this, I just don't see how it's sustainable for the long haul unless they can ramp up production. But obviously they can't right now. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's going to be a massive shift in what they offer and how much they offer. Maybe around 2025, you probably start seeing the decisions they're making now affect how they present themselves then.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you potentially see for the first time ever Hot Toys actually canceling orders? Well, or figures based on low production numbers. They get to a certain point, it's not viable for them to continue anymore.
I think that depends on Howard Chan. Myself, I own a small business that I've been running successfully, and I've had a couple employees in the past, and I have commissions that I have. I have a long list of commissions for people that I'm working on, and I actually had to stop letting people talk to me about commissions because I realized if I keep taking them, I'm going to be dedicated to commissions for the next 5 years. But as somebody who likes to deliver on what they promise and make people what they want, what we discussed, I don't like to say no because I want to have integrity. Mm-hmm. And so if he's that type of a person who's like, no, we made this prototype, we made it, we want to do it, we have released it for pre-order, I don't want to disappoint myself and my customers by taking that promise back. Because if you do, then, that could instill in some people fear that, well, can we depend on this in the future? And I think that would be a very frustrating decision and position for him to be in, having to say no to that, because he might be putting some collectors off if he had to do that. And I'm sure he's thinking about that if they're in that situation. And this is all speculation. He might not even be in that situation, but if he is, I think that he would want to do the best business he could possibly do and keep those promises, even if it takes him 3-4 years to do it, at the cost of other figures later. And that's what I feel like.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about, like, again, Transport Trooper. Like, the numbers on that are so low. If it got to a point they haven't even started on it, they're going to lose money with those. If they continue with that line, they're going to lose money. That's what I mean. Again, the numbers don't justify that the fandom is there. So, like, right off the bat, he could say, okay, the fans don't want it, or the fans haven't ordered it, so therefore there's no justification. And the fans who were mad, they're going to be far and few between.
Well, that's I was trying to speak to that a little bit. I'm sorry I got off topic, but I'm kind of trying to imply that maybe I try to look it through the mind of the business owner as well, not just the collector or the money, but also, like, maybe what is he thinking as the owner of the company? Because with that, like, exactly like you said, he might be thinking there's not enough fandom here, there's not enough care to justify this. But at the same time, if he's about integrity and keeping promises so that people can depend on him, he might not, even if it's going to be a loss, it might be worth it to him to retain them for future orders. He might be thinking, even though I might lose 20 grand or 30 grand or 50 grand making 1,200 of these, because it's the cost of production is going to be more than I'm going to make on the figures, it might be worth it because I might make, $3 million selling them the next Batman figure, so it might be worth the loss just to retain the positive energy,
Very interesting.
Sometimes you have to do that. I mean, there's many jobs. I do installation for a living. Outside of this, I'm transitioning into art, but I have many days. I have days where I go up to Lake Tahoe and I work a 12-hour day, and I actually make about $12 for that entire day. But then I come down to Reno and I do installation here where I live, and I work 8 hours and I make $300 an hour for those 8 hours. But then I have a day where I make nothing again, so it all evens out over time to where I actually make a living wage. But he's probably looking at all that and considering that. And obviously we can't see into their books, but I'm sure those are decisions that are considerations that are on the table with, like, is this figure worth our time? And it might be for the sake of the look of the company.
Well, the thing is, from what I've seen so far as of late from Hottoys, and I only started collecting 2 years ago, and what I've been seeing that certain figures get the justice they deserve as far as, like, final production, photos and whatnot, and the way they look compared to the prototypes, because I feel that the hype or the numbers don't match up to what the work they need to put in for that certain figure. That's why you get some of these figures like which one that really it came out but wasn't that great. The thing is, it's very minuscule with Hottoys, because usually they're 100% with their head sculpts, but there's some figures that don't get the proper work they need because of the numbers. That's how I feel anyway. There was one that people were complaining about. Oh yeah, there you go. Like, even though I do like the head sculpt for Mysterio, people weren't fans of the actual head sculpt of Jake Gyllenhaal because it was not 100% Jake Gyllenhaal. Even though it was a big surprise for us, getting that head sculpt, because they had canceled it before and then he brought it back, with the final production release, right? I was cool with that head sculpt though. I think it's fine the way it is, but it could be better. It's not 100%, but it does it justice. But most people, they felt that what, it's not Jake Gyllenhaal. It looks like someone else, this and that. And also, I don't think the numbers weren't that great for Mysterio anyway. But it was still a villain. Of course, villains don't do as well as with Hottoys anyway.
Another example that might be Ant-Man. The Ant-Man and the Wasp Ant-Man. He was delayed 4 times. He was a figure I was looking forward to. Delayed 4 times, and then they came out with the head sculpt with the buck teeth, and it was like, what?
That's right, Ant-Man. Yeah, Ant-Man. Wow, yeah, I completely forgot about Ant-Man. Yeah.
I don't know if that's one where because they delayed it like 4 times. I wonder, were they working out the head sculpt for? That's why they delayed it 4 times, because I was looking forward to that one. I think it was about a year and 4 months away when I first ordered it, a year and 2 months, and then it got delayed to another quarter, delayed, and it went from the previous fall to the following summer is when it got released. And I think that was in 2020 it got released. And I remember I was like wondering, like, most of that figure seemed fairly straightforward with things they had done before. The only thing that was different was the head sculpt. So were they tossing around redoing it? And then they just said, forget it. We can't keep delaying this. We got to get it out there because the cost and the time is not worth it. Maybe that's an example of what you're talking about, Don. Just got to get it out.
Same thing with Gamora.
Yeah, actually, Gamora was actually good.
Gamora was good, but she was low. She
was low, but the thing is, she was better than the prototype, though.
That's the surprising part. That's the surprising part. People saw, they're like, okay, boom, and then comes out. It's like magnificent, and now that's one of those hard to obtain and justify the price type figure. Not a grail, but one of those in betweens, like getting borderline. This is a little hard to obtain.
Let me see. TX Boy brought up, I may be in the minority here, but would it be fine if Hot Toys releases more figures without head sculpts for cheaper prices and quarter turns or around times? I feel if that's the case, then we experienced it firsthand with Peacemaker. Peacemaker didn't get a head sculpt. It got literally just a screaming sculpt and a magnetized tongue and the helmet, and that's it. We didn't get full on John Cena head sculpt. But to be fair, that could be more of a licensing issue with WWE. But hell, maybe they did have an opportunity to. Hey, you never know. Like Oscar Reeves, they had an opportunity to get that head sculpt, and so even though the actress is still part of the WWE franchise, so I feel like even if Hot Toys had the opportunity to take the advantage with the full-on head sculpt of Peacemaker, I think they didn't because they knew about the numbers with that. Hell, we got like 2 head sculpts with Robert Pattinson right here. The one with the cowl and actual Robert Pattinson head sculpt here. So I feel there's some type of favoritism involved here, especially with the higher number figures like Iron Man, Boba Fett, Star Vaders. The ones that actually push in the money.
The icons that anybody will buy, because these are the characters. Though it doesn't matter who you are, these characters. You know who Batman is. You know who Iron Man is. You know who Darth Vader is. So they're those figures that anybody can look at them, say, "Oh, that's cool," and they're going to buy. And that person doesn't need a giant collection. They can get that as a one-off. Whereas you have, like, again, the 501st, the different variations, and then hopefully whenever they come the 212th, those are more like hardcore, or you're more doing collections, or the diorama scenes. But as far as Hot Toys not doing like helmeted, figures with head sculpts, that almost kind of cuts into their business model, though. So if they're going to focus morely on like masks and helmets, again, that kind of cuts into who they're actually going to do for figures.
Well, then again, they do a lot of PS4's video game Spider-Man figure, and we never got a head sculpt with that.
Well, true. That's the video game, but I'm meaning from like, and again, that's kind of a niche market right there, the video game figures. But when you take like mass media movies, I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to get Selina Kyle.
Calm down. I wanted to bring that up. That'll be our next subject to talk about. But before we get into that,
if Sean they don't, we riot.
We riot, of course. We riot. Mommy's got to be made. But let's go over to Sean Donnelly. Sean Donnelly is the one that always you've commented on about the figures getting released every 3 or 4 days. This is the same dude. If Hot Toys would open up a PR campaign, explain the issues for potential delays, less collectors would cancel pre-orders. Hot Toys needs to show appreciation and respect to their customers.
I commented on something that might be would be part of my answer to that, or a comment back to that a while ago. I don't know if it was on your guys' stream a long time ago, but when all that stuff was going down, where Sideshow was messing with Toys Wonderland, and Justin was like stream hopping and sort of talking everybody through it because he was talking to them. I left a comment on somebody's stream, and Budget Stark actually agreed with me, and I love that guy because he's one of the OG YouTube Hot Toys Iron Man guys. Yep. And a lot of the guys know Budget Stark.
Yeah.
And what I commented on that regarding all of that was I think there's a disparity here, and I mean this in the most innocent way possible. There's a cultural difference in perspective on business here, and I think that's what a lot of the decision making that we're seeing between people in America collecting, and then people in Hong Kong collecting, and the way Hot Toys does their business model is culturally a little bit different than what we might expect here. And I think that might be some of the clash we see with Sideshow and release dates, and then expectation from people and how Hot Toys chooses to run their pre-orders. I said, I think we're seeing a clash of like maybe just a cultural thing here where there's no lack of respect or anything going on. It's just they see the world a certain way because of the way that they were, brought up and raised in the environment they function in. And then we're seeing it another way. And we're like, why aren't they doing this? And I use the example of me and my wife. My wife was born and raised in El Salvador. And things that seem completely obvious to her are not to me, and things that seem completely obvious to me are not to her. And they're usually very subtle, simple cultural things. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder if Hot Toys is like, no, this is fine. We'll just keep doing this because X, Y, and Z. And we just don't see it that way because we're coming from a society where things are typically released quicker, things are handled differently, and they're just structured differently. So I think there might be a cultural perspective that maybe that's having a hard time driving together between the American side of collecting and maybe the Australasian side of collecting, like those in Australia and stuff like that, and Canada, and then the people in Asia, and they're like, what's the problem? And Hot Toys is like, what's the problem? And we're like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And they're like, why would we need to do that? And it's just like a cultural difference.
Yep, he's absolutely right. Like here's a perfect example. If you used to go to a restaurant or a diner, let's say a diner, right? Like everybody has a diner, they would drive on the road, on the highway, whatever. You see a diner, you go over there, get some flapjacks or whatever the case may be. As soon as you leave everything there on the table with your check and everything like that, right? If you go to Japan, you're expected to clean up after yourself and then come in with your receipt and pay up front at the door before you walk out the door. But you have to clean your area, meaning you maintain your spot. You don't leave it there for someone else.
I was in high school in Japan. We never were told to clean our stuff.
There's a restaurant that's dead. You have to clean up after yourself. Tell me I'm wrong.
Plenty of restaurants.
Wait. So hey, Cigars and Bacon,
did you cleaned off our table?
Wait. Wait a second. Are you telling me like Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift was that like your life story?
That is his movie.
That's his movie.
I wonder if you know how Cigars and Bacon lives.
I was hanging out with Bow Wow back then. My bad. I forgot.
Bruh. Wow. No, that's
Northern
funny.
Japan. It was 12 hours from Tokyo.
I think there's a cultural difference there. I think one of the ways that Hot Toys might be able to satiate or satisfy all of us over on this side of the world is if they maybe started producing the figures before they announced them, and instead of them being like, we're not going to production run these until we have a certain amount of orders. If they took their previous collected data and said, with this type of figure, with this type of genre, we may expect to make 5,000 units, let's produce 1,500. And then when the pre-orders come in, we'll continue producing a certain percentage based on how many more we get. And then they can say, this will start releasing in 4 months, in 6 months, instead of a year and a half. That would close the gap. And they know they're going to sell some of every figure, right? So they'd have to metric that out, figure what quantities would make sense for them in genres and previous sales. But I think that might be, I was thinking about that. That feels like a way they might be able to help bridge the gap and do some of that where, like they've got this prototype Battinson figure for us here, and they know they're going to sell a lot of those figures. Do what your projected run you think might be, make 25% of that now. Just start making it, and then in 6 to 8 months you'll be able to send some out, and then based on the pre-orders you just continue that production run based on what you get over the next 6 months when you start releasing the figure. And then you can keep releasing them for 6 months, stop the pre-order window, and then there's a guaranteed amount are being sold, coming out to collectors. There's figures being in process and being made. And then there's a stop where the figure has a determined inline, and then it also keeps the figures like special, and they're not sitting on the shelf for 4 years at Sideshow's warehouse, which I'm sure Sideshow hates. They want to sell that. So, you know, they got what, like 40, 50 figures or something like that are sitting in their warehouse. They don't want to do that. They want to sell them. So they're incentivized to make faster, more short-term profits. So is Hot Toys. Collectors are happier. They're coming out sooner. I mean, I feel like something like that would make sense, but again,
you know, I also feel that Oilers, that you were correct earlier as well with this, because you said that, you know, look at their main market. It's China. That, you know, overseas, that's their main market, not over here.
Yeah.
You know, so culturally speaking, if it works there for them, you know, the way they do their business,
yeah,
why would they need to change over here? You know,
so we might have to stay at the mercy of that. Yeah, like that's what they're going to do. So we just have to deal with it.
I wouldn't want them to. I would want them to change as far as like, you know, be more communicative with their, you know, that'd be great if Hot Toys can be more, you know, open about what's going on with their business, or, you know, with their figures and whatnot. Like they were with the Hulkbuster originally. That literally took like 5 years, not the reissue, but the original Hulkbuster. They were updating people about what was going on with that figure. The reason why it took forever, you know. But
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right with the Hulkbuster, because originally it was supposed to be a figure, kind of like the 3-0, and then they gutted it out and made it so you could fit Iron Man into it, try to make it as accurate as possible, and it just caused more delays, and it was a 5-year delay basically. You know, you couldn't get that with any other regular figure, or because technically speaking, if you want to get technical, Hulkbuster is a vehicle at that point. You know, you could put another figure in a figure, it's a vehicle. You know, but
I want to bring this up real quick. Jonathan, I just noticed that Oilers Workshop looks like Peter from Deadpool 2.
You're not the first person to say that.
Oilers, do me a favor. Can you do the X-Force real quick?
Dude, I don't even know what that is. What does he do? I'm sorry. What does he do?
The X.
He puts his arms up
yeah.
like an X, and he says X-Force.
I had kids running up to me when Parks and Rec was on, asking me if I was Ron Swanson.
You should have said yes. I'll take a steak with a side order of steak.
A steak with a side order of steak.
Give me all your bacon and eggs.
Sugar bear.
I think I will have that third steak.
I think I will have that third steak. X-Force.
X-Force.
I just saw the ad and I thought it looked fun.
Oh man,
You're
Oilers. Your stash is literally legendary at this point.
Thank you. It used to be a lot bigger, actually. If you look at my Instagram profile picture, it was out here and curled up.
Wow. You had the mayor from Monopoly.
Yeah.
Or the villain stash.
So my name Oilers is the reason for that. Oilers is my steampunk character. So, and I had the mustache because I made a big steampunk engineer costume that it looked like something from like an exosuit, but it was steampunk. And my name was Euler McCoyle, and I was his engineer. So that's where my name comes from.
That's
so
dope.
La Cucaracha with the dollar super chat. I now gotta go see what it is. I think it's an animation. Okay, so there's nothing happening. I guess he put the dollar in, but he forgot what he wanted to say. You're the best, Nate. Oh, thank you, La Cucaracha. Gracias, amigo. Gracias. So this is what you were saying.
Telling another cockroach that he's okay. That's how it works.
Yo, silencio, loco. Silencio.
Hey, I can say that I'm a cockroach too.
Bad, loco. Bad.
I'm not a dog. I'm a roach, remember?
Oh, damn. Oh man, you know I was told that one time before, like y'all Puerto Ricans are roaches. Like, what you mean? Because every time you keep coming back, y'all just
you're gonna make Lou choke. You
put them down and you keep coming back.
Fun.
That's how I was told. I was like, what? What do you mean? I was like, oh, okay, so that I guess I keep coming back then. Yeah, you keep coming back. Yeah, you think I'm back? Yeah, I am back.
Yep, I'm back. I've been thinking I'm back. And I think I'm back. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Like John Wick. I'm like,
John Wick, baby.
Yeah, Puerto Ricans are like John Wick. When you think they're gone, no, they're back. You think you're back?
He's asking if I'm back. I guess I'm back.
Yep.
Oh damn.
So,
But all right, so
Catwoman.
yes, let's bring this up. It was the next subject I wanted to bring up. Let me see. I want to make sure I get the right window. Here it is, the characters of the Batman. And I think it would be a great start to move on to like the what if scenarios here. What if Hot Toys does do 2 more or 3 more figures for this line, and that's not including the damn the vehicles like the Batcycle. So Batcycle, they already have the damn prototype displayed in a secret base. But what if they give us a maybe a Catwoman to go with this, or maybe another Bruce Wayne or slash
Quick change Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, quick change Bruce Wayne at this point. No spoilers though. We want to keep it light on the spoilers, but I want to hear your thoughts, guys, for those who actually seen the movie as well. Like if Hot Toys would deliver on more figures other than the Batmans. So I guess the first one would be let's see. So we got Catwoman there, and we bring up another Catwoman there. Oh yeah, that's Selina Kyle then.
No, mommy.
Mommy here. Yes. Let me go.
No, if you're gonna do it that way, she needs the purple hair. If we're gonna go the clean look, she needs like the purple hair.
Yeah.
Just why not? You know.
She also had red hair, I think, too, right?
Yeah, she also had red hair. Yep. She had a whole different variation of hair.
Okay, so there you go. You can make a doll with like 5 wigs.
Oh yeah, there's your DX.
There you go.
Try explaining that to your buddies when they walk in and you're sitting there combing 5 wigs.
Interchangeable wigs.
That's not what it looks like.
No, sir. No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again.
This is not out of the realm of possibility, because if you look at the purse system for the Hulk, you take off the hair. So if they did something similar to that and give us a purse system with Catwoman, being that most of the time when she's fighting in disguise, she's wearing the ski mask. You can't get much expression with a ski mask on, but if her eyes are tilted, looking up, or whatever the case may be, it can be very expressive. I'll give her the short haircut look. And hold on, I gotta answer that.
I have to say, I don't have any of the smaller female figures. I had Wasp and I had Nebula. But if you look at Zoe Kravitz in real life, she is super tiny. She's like
smaller than Scarlett Johansson, and you know how small Black Widow
is. They could actually use the Spider Gwen body for her.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, they actually probably could.
They could use the Spider Gwen.
Oh yes, Spider Gwen's a
Spider Gwen body. It would fit perfect for her.
You're right.
Is she like 5'9"? Well, she's slim 5'9" then, because she looks small too.
She literally looked like half the time she was fighting, dude, she was gonna break herself in some of her moves, not the other guys. You
don't really get a good look at her costume too, like her actual suit. It looks like there's multiple textures there, but it's hard to see in the lighting that kept framing everything in what it actually looked like. So I'm curious because if Hot Toys does it, you're going to see it completely. I don't think there's ever really a clear picture in broad daylight of what it looks like.
All I know is that's going to be a pleather nightmare.
It's going to be another Selina Kyle from Dark Knight Rises. It's going to be another one, like another situation. That's going to be a 303 bath all day, day. So,
what are you doing tonight? I'm giving my miniature dolls a bath.
Man,
I'm not kidding.
Lie to me. Jeez,
it gets the 303 again, so it won't flake and ruin my day.
She gets the juice, so that way she could stay fluid. I'm just say that.
But Daddy, chill.
No, there's no chills with Daddy here.
Daddy, it's a family channel. Chill.
I'm saying that's mommy. Mommy knows how Daddy works.
You know what? Bruce Wayne in that suit there in that picture seems like an easy money grab for Hot Toys, because it's just tailored suits, and they could probably just reuse a lot of their head sculpt from the Batman, just repaint it.
I mean, if they're gonna do something like that,
eyeshadow.
Yeah, if they're gonna do something like that as like a toy, they're gonna do a Toy Fair exclusive. Then they need to do something like a diorama base where it's like the front of the car.
Or not. They get 2-pack with Alfred.
Or you could do bookends, one with the front, one with the back, and you just put your books in between your Batman graphic novel. No, I'm kidding.
Or you could do a 2-pack with him and Gordon.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
So
from what I hear, Gordon's great, right?
Yeah. Gordon's awesome. Like him and Selina Kyle stole the show. Personally, I think
it's Jeffrey Wright who played Gordon, right?
Yeah,
Jeffrey Wright. Yeah, he's a badass actor.
Yeah, if we had to choose, oh my god, no, thank you. Let's see, I try to find him. Oh, he stole the show too for some. I've always loved him since Transformers, and he did a fantastic job.
I'm Agent Simmons.
Big Lebowski. Jesus.
Yeah. No, he did a good job.
What is this DRS shit?
Just look at him at Batman going NBE1. That's what we call it.
Yep, sneaky.
But I think we are going to, like, if I had to choose the three, it would be Selina Kyle and Commissioner Gordon. Like, if we're going to have to do, like, not only the Batman, right? Of course, with our pass. And if we want to get 2 more out of this line, I doubt we'll get more than 2 more figures. If we get 3 more, including, these are excluding the vehicles. I think the vehicles are another department, right? If we're just including just the 1/6 scale figures of the characters, I can see Commissioner Gordon and Selina Kyle. Because unfortunately, everybody's asking for a Riddler, but I doubt we are going to get a Riddler. I doubt it.
What about a Penguin?
Penguin is really cool. But we might get Penguin with the spin-off show.
That's Penguin. Right, the spin-off show with Penguin, yeah.
Because he's doing a spin-off with Penguin and then a spin-off with Arkham.
I feel like you could put together your own Riddler. It'd just be hard to get a mask that matches the one in the film. But there's
the Russian cold weather mask.
That is an actual an actual military mask, and so there's so many companies that produce 1/6 scale military stuff. You might be able to find one.
Damn toys.
You might be able to make your own Riddler.
I think somebody already made a third-party Riddler. Not actual company, but another collector.
Yeah, did a Kit Bash version.
Yeah, Kit Bash, yeah.
I think it'd be cool if Hot Toys made a Riddler. It'd be a nice villain. It'd be really cool to see them make a villain like the Riddler from this movie. Step out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they're going to throw in all the bells and whistles as far as like the other accessories that I can't mention because of the film. But that could happen though. That could happen.
They'll give us the same duct tape like they hit right here. They'll give us those sticker duct tapes like from Dusty Deadpool where they'll stick for 3 seconds and just fall off.
Yeah, in a 1/6 scale marker.
Yeah.
It would be
Where's
fun,
my
though.
pencil for John Wick?
I always think about these in terms of, because I build dioramas, I always think about what would I make for this figure, or what might someone ask me to make for this figure. I would love to make his apartment from the film. That would be a really cool diorama to see.
Yeah, I didn't even think about
spoilers.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything else. That's all he's got to live somewhere, right? So that's not a spoiler.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
If they make the Riddler, I haven't seen the film yet, but if they make it, knowing me, I will commission you for one.
I'll just say this. And again, this isn't a spoiler, but like the Riddler in this, actually, I thought the Riddler stole the show, just the pure insanity. And again, this isn't spoilers or whatever, but there are literal times when you're hearing him talk, you're not actually hearing the Riddler. You are hearing like every previous Batman enemy, how they're talking. And then you're also hearing the inflections, the tones. It's like everybody in the past is now being channeled through the Riddler now. But again, and there are certain times, and again, I'll just say this, there is a certain scene when certain words are said and just the inflection, you don't think you're listening to the Riddler, you think you're listening to Bane.
Yeah, I heard Paul Dano killed it. Like everybody that's critiquing him saying that like he totally delved into the mind of a serial killer and pulled it off.
Well, it's almost like a Ted Kaczynski type character.
Yeah, because they said Matt Reeves he took a bunch of serial killers because you got the Zodiac, he took all the like 60s and 70s serial killers and 80s and then combined it into this one character. And then Paul Dano just stole the show and he created the Riddler just off of that by using old serial killers and mixing them into one person.
So, yeah. That performance was amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it just because I've heard great things about like how he pulled this off. And it's like you see his other roles and you're like, all right, I'm curious because some of his other roles were a bit cheesy, but he was just fine taking a script for money. So
I was gonna say, you gonna see it in the theaters, or you gonna wait until next month?
I'm going next weekend with my son.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I may have to wait. There's a couple of things that's happening around the crib that he's doing some remodeling, trying to make a man cave. So.
Oh, nice.
So let's see what happens.
MC Diablo Fez like, shoot, I'll go even deeper. Who remembers John Turturro in
Do the Right
Thing?
Yep.
Yep, Do the Right Thing.
You didn't shoot him. Who put you up to this? Harvey Keitel. Yep.
Woo,
yeah, even though I loved Riddler as a character in this film and a villain, as one of the best villains of all time, second to Joker. In live action, I do feel that I don't think Hot Toys will attempt this. Maybe they will, kind of like a Zemo situation where they did a prototype of Zemo and never talked about it ever again. They probably will do that. That's what I think might happen. But I'd rather see Selina Kyle, and maybe another Robert Pattinson, his clean look in a way. Or his
he wakes up, he puts his sunglasses on, and this is what the damn sun looks like.
Yeah. Or Gordon.
When that happened, I was like, that's kind of like a callback to Twilight.
Twilight, there you go.
Well, I saw a meme. He's now
look at the sun.
Sparkle in the sun.
Exactly. No, he's now fulfilled the full evolution. He's gone from a vampire. Now he can turn into an actual bat.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That makes him a vampire lord. He's achieved the next level.
Selina, where are you? The death dealers.
I saw because I wasn't meaning to. There was a look from Robert Pattinson in that movie that I'd like to see Hot Toys make, and it was it almost looked like he was wearing a poncho, binoculars in the trailer. Almost
it's a Batcycle. It's a Batcycle look.
Yeah, like he was being incognito, like a bum or something.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that.
You guys, I don't know if you can see this. Sorry, I just remembered I had this here.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now we see it.
It's signed at the bottom.
Wow.
This is a oversized poster. Greg Horn, who's a comic book cover artist. I bought it from him at a con. It was the only one he had left. He used it for display, and it's so big I can't afford to get it framed. But I'm thinking about giving it away on my channel when I hit 5,000 subs.
Nice.
But it's hand signed by him, by Greg Horn. So if you guys want to get I think it's 47 by 32 or something like that. It's bigger than a standard movie poster. I think I'm gonna be giving that away on my channel at 5,000 subs. I just been trying to think about things I could give away, and I just remembered this.
Oh, sign me up! I want to go for that giveaway. Shoot, I wouldn't mind
giving signed.
Yeah, it's signed, but on top of that, it'll go great with my The Price is Right Batman comic.
Oh yeah, so good.
Remember that
CGC? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You won.
How much is this 0.5 original? I was 3,000. You're 9 or something. And it's
yeah, I said no.
Is this piece of shit is worth $55,000?
Were you guys talking about graded comics, or were you talking about
graded?
Yeah, no, we actually got pulled into we were at Comic-Con together. We got pulled into a literal Price is Right on the floor, and Loco Lu walked away with a graded Batman.
Wow!
What? That's awesome.
Yep.
The one
where Bane breaks Batman's back.
Yeah.
The variant cover too.
The variant cover.
The breaking of the bat. That's what it was. The breaking of the bat.
Breaking of the
Lucky.
bat.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky.
Hey, listen, I was hunting for Hot Toys. Asked Don. We were looking.
Yep.
And the only one I was trying to look for was some Star Wars stuff, because I said I was going to get Star Wars, and I was going to pull the trigger on that Vader, but it didn't look proper. It didn't look proper. So
And that
Diablo
just didn't have a right feeling.
Diablo Fett says he went to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale with Greg Horn.
Oh, really?
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Wow. Let me see. I think someone also brought up in the comments here. Let me see. Who was it? Yeah, there you go. So Doc's Missile said, yeah, that's the figure I hope will come out with the bike, Incognito Wayne.
Yeah, see?
This is what I will want. I will want all the bells and whistles as far as the technology is concerned with the character. I can't mention the technology that's involved in the film because of these spoilers. But if they could bring out the incognito Wayne with that technology he was using for surveillance, because I'm surprised they included it in this release of Batman with the deluxe edition piece, because there's a incognito surveillance equipment that he was using, and I was like, I'm surprised they included it in this setup. So I would like it to where that one comes out with the cycle and incognito Wayne's surveillance. Oh, look at those spoilers. What he's doing here.
These are both Greg Horn signed prints I got from him too.
Nice. look at that surfer. Oh my god.
I'll take the Wolverine.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, Wolverine looks dope, but that surfer,
Yeah,
look at
I
that.
got those
art.
from him, and this one I ordered from his website. Beta Ray Bill is probably my favorite character.
Oh wow.
Beta Ray Bill is cool.
I'm waiting for him to be in the
So,
MCU.
this is a remark. This is actually the character of the Black Winter from Thor #5 from the current run. He remarked and drew Beta Ray Bill over it and signed over his own signature and sent these out to people who bought them.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Whoa, that's pretty cool. That's really
nice
cool.
Prints.
I'm not
Those are real
dedicated to
nice
one
prints.
type of collectible.
No. I can see with that background, man. Look at that. Look at all you got over there. Look at that. Wow.
Yep, I got
Hottoys
3-0. I
statues.
got Samus. I got Black Series. I got Marvel Legends. I got Legos up there. So I got a talk down to in a group chat because I had mentioned I've only ever bought about 32 Hottoys over the course of years, because I've only ever had 22, I think, at one time, and I have just what you see behind me. But I was like, I do collect other things. I'm not just I've only never only bought just Hot Toys. So.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Diablo
like me.
said, I taught everything he knows.
Did I
Well,
send
Oilers,
these to you to
like
get
you
you
said,
to
brother.
sign them?
Like I
Hey,
mean,
Diablo Fett, you hook it up with a print
Yeah.
then?
like Oilers, because the weird thing is, I actually was in Masterpiece Transformers first, and that's what actually got me into 1/6. So like, I'm already collecting like the high end stuff, so I was looking for the next thing, which was 1/6 scale, and then yeah.
I got 3,200 comics over here. If somebody wants to make me an offer, I'm getting rid of them.
Wow.
So hit me up if you guys are interested. I'm going to keep like one short box for myself and to give to my nephews and nieces when they get older. But
I'll give you $1. I'm taking all the risk. I got to pay someone to, yeah.
no, I have them all listed in Cover Price, that app where it calculates the fair market value based on the last 11 years of sales, and it's way more than I thought it was once I got it all in there. So I'm looking to get rid of it. Pay some taxes.
Okay, $2.
Getting closer.
You're driving hard, Bart.
I'll buy that for $1.
I got to frame them. I got to, yeah.
I'll buy that for $1.
Oh, wow. But all right, time to let's look at everyone been talking about this over social media now. Jazz Inc.'s version of the Batmobile, like his licensed vehicle that he just got done, like his first prototype, right?
Yep. There it is.
It's the Bat Challenger.
It is a Bat Challenger.
It's huge.
Yeah.
They said modeled after the 68 through 70 generation.
It looks good though. The only thing, the weathering is a bit off, but other than that, I like it.
It's interesting. I feel like the presence was really, really strong in the film. I want to see this like lit up with the lighting from the film, like a red light, an orange light, and a fill light. I think it would look like mind blowing if he did that.
Yeah, I think the Bat Mutter, the Bat Mutter. Wow. No, I think Hot Toys, if they do their version, I think their version will be the one with all the lights, pretty much like everything lit up. That's what I think will happen. And then with Jazz Inc., theirs is going to be more of the the stuff that Hot Toys wouldn't do, like the smoke, the sounds, the interior. I think like you were saying, Oilers earlier, that Hot Toys probably won't be doing the interior as great as Jazz Inc. would.
Yeah,
but I think everything else, I think the lights would be awesome on Hot Toys. I think Hot Toys would hit it out of the park with the lights.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Yeah, Juiced is like, I think he's coming at this from more of an engineering just an engineering perspective, and then combining it with like super fan knowledge. And then Hot Toys is like, you know, coming from a how do we assemble this from a marketing and sales perspective and to be accurate enough to where people will love it. So you've got sort of slightly different approaches to the same basic item. And so they're going to have like highlightable features that are different.
Yeah. So from what Doc said earlier about the pricing on this, it's looking like it's probably going to be about between 12 and 1500, but because of the shipping, it'll push it up to almost $2,000 for this. If you're like in the rest of the world living out, you know, because he is not in the United States, right? He is
he's in the Netherlands, isn't he? He's Dutch.
Netherlands, right? Yeah. So anywhere in that point would the shipping would be crazy, right?
Yeah, I got my Vulture from them. That's the only product I bought from them, and I think the shipping on that for me was like $129. I think that was right. I got to check, but I think it was $129, and the Vulture I paid it off in payments, and that was like what, like $560 or something like that. So it's $700 figure for me because of the shipping cost. Some people it was cheaper, some people it was more. Basically, it was a $700 figure. So if that's
that was me looking at this Batmobile. There's some type of moaning sound that happened that CJ thinks he heard. I'm like, yeah, that's me going googly eyed on this freaking vehicle, and I'm hoping Hot Toys flexes and makes their own version. I want them to. I definitely want them to, and I don't think this is as big as the BBS, right?
I believe so. It looks like it is because BVS Batmobile is not as big as you think it is.
I think it's smaller. You got it in the background there. I think it's probably close to this. I think it's a little bit smaller. I think the width is a little bit less and the length is a little bit less. Like it might be about, I mean, to me, it looks like it's about 10% smaller.
It's taller, definitely.
Yeah. It might be in a smaller box then if they can make it smaller and it's like a shell instead of like a big brick of molded plastic. If they can do it like a model car, like a shell over a chassis, it could be actually fairly light.
Yeah, it looks like it's just slightly bigger than the Millennium cockpit right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That could be a good news for the shipping.
Yep.
Maybe. Maybe.
I think the shipping is gonna kill us. If you guys are purchasing this figure, the shipping is gonna kill us. Kind of like what's happening with the situation with the Ecto One over at Toys Wonderland. Everybody's been talking about the pricing of the shipping on that thing. That thing's gonna be outrageous. Like
it might be more than the figure.
$1,500, almost
$1,500.
Yeah, $1,500, little man. Put that shit in my hand. Dimensional weight. OEO.
I mentioned this in one of your streams in the comments, but did you see Robert Meyer Burnett talk about his original Ecto One he just paid off? He paid off a partially planned. He mentioned this on one of his streams, his fully articulated stream. He paid off his, and I think he said he got it from Toys Wonderland, and he paid it off on partially, and he didn't think about the cost of the shipping, and they gave him the shipping bill, and it was $2,000.
Oh my god!
Yep.
That's from Hong Kong. It's not from the Netherlands. That's from Hong Kong. But $2,000 to get it, and he basically was like, I now have to save up money to afford the shipping because it costs more than the Ecto One.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, he was super angry because
and again, we saw something too from another store that they were trying to get it in, like even Blitzaway was like shipping on this thing is going to be insane. We're still working out how we're gonna distribute this. Then that's why certain sites don't have it yet, or probably won't have it.
Sideshow won't have it, from what I've been hearing. So
exactly. And just real quick, CJ, that's actually the boomstick in the back. That's actually a transformer.
A really cool transformer.
I love that transformer, man.
Hold on, I'll grab it real quick.
Yeah, it's a really cool transformer.
Yeah, let me see. Who was the company I was looking at?
Yeah, so it's actually a transformer. That is an airsoft gun. Because here's the
that's where the C2 goes, right?
Yeah. So
they told
there's
that their
gun goes.
stateside person was
Lock it. It's got a charging handle, and then it's got the trigger.
Don, we need to do a review on that, brother.
There's already so many reviews, but this thing only was $75. So it's a transform it once, and it's never getting undone because
like,
you can pull the you can pull the barrel out and then got to latch it in place. But
that
it's
would be a
actually
bit like if let's say in lore wise, if that was actual transformer about that size there, that would be a minicon, right?
Yeah, but there's also the in Transformers mass shifting.
Not necessarily, because Megatron turned into a normal sized gun.
Yeah, Don, I got the best mass shifters ever right here.
Oh yes!
Oh yes!
One. Oh, the McDonald's guys,
dude. Exactly.
I remember those.
Oh yes.
I got the chicken nuggets and got the quarter pounder.
Yeah, I got the quarter pounder.
I used to have those.
Or the soda. Oh man!
But the funnier thing is, in robot mode, this thing is bigger than the Hulkbuster.
Oh,
that's cool. That is awesome.
Dope. Oh, listen, you know how I just realized my age when I saw the
yeah, me too.
I realized my age because remember back in the day when McDonald's used to give everything in styrofoam containers?
Yep, like the mid '80s to late '80s.
Oh my God.
1987, copyright 1987.
Wow, that's crazy.
Big Macs and quarter pounders were the only things that came in styrofoam back then. Because remember, there was their special burgers.
The special burgers, yeah.
This is my favorite Transformer, Don.
Oh,
yes. Oh, the ice cream twins.
The twins, mud flaps, and squid. Yeah,
pop apart.
Skid and mud flap.
I don't even know how to get them open anymore. I haven't transformed this in like 3 years, but yeah, I bought that off the shelf as soon as I saw it, and I guess they're still, pretty rare.
They are
super cool.
I got the original ones with green and orange. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
I actually just rewatched this movie a couple weeks ago while I was working on dioramas, and I forgot I even owned this.
So Oilers, Single Star is asking, what's that War Machine thing below Oilers Mandalorians?
War Machine thing below my Mandalorians.
Is that one of the is that one of the armors
from Fallout?
That looked like Fallout or Acid Rain. Or is that the one? Yeah.
Oh, is that the plastic? Those plastic mechas from Japan, the Jaya toys.
The Joy Toy Fear. Yeah, these are 1/18 scale. I'm actually the next live stream after we finish the Danger Room is going to be a diorama for this guy. I put a poll on my channel asking everybody what they wanted me to make, and so far a jungle diorama is winning the poll. So,
now that's the larger one, right? Because I had the smaller one. And I got that. It was literally broken in the torso was separated, the joints were separated. So how are the larger ones compared to the smaller ones?
This is really awesome. I posted a short review of this on my channel. I compared it to the Blitzwing 330 here. I would say in fineness and articulation, this is one step down, but it's still really awesome because that's a very high bar. And the detail it looks great. It's very modular. You can take stuff apart. Like I can take these details off if I don't like them. I can take these off if I don't like them. I can take these off. Like everything. Let me see if I can move my camera. I got to go to my stream here in a few minutes, but let me pop this down. Everything can be moved around. Like if you don't like those, you can just take them off. You can put this back on. You can take this off.
Is this the same This is the same company that did we'll call it Apollo. That Apollo figure, right?
I don't think so. This company, they only do like the mechas, but they're like plasticky.
Yeah, the Apollo's a mech.
Yeah, here they are.
Yeah, I think this one is sold out on Sideshow or is about to.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also two different scales.
Yeah, they do 1/25th, 1/18th, and something else.
Yeah, the 1/24th. I've had the 1/24th, but I did have issues with mine. But again, I was the only one I got, and then I just said, yeah.
So these use the strap system, which is really different than anything I've personally collected before. These, it has a complete under chassis that's like a endoskeleton from like a T800.
Yeah.
And the pieces actually, you click them together over the underskeleton, and then there's these straps that you attach inside and under the armor. And that allows for like super range of motion where you can move it really far out and move the thigh plate out of the way without having to worry about a mechanical piece breaking. I thought that was kind of ingenious. It's just a strap that stretches over for you. And because a lot of the overlayments can pop off, you can change the look of your piece. Like I can just pop that off. There's the underskeleton right there. And then this piece just snaps onto it. So I think they're pretty ingenious. I wouldn't mind having like one more of these. So
yeah, they are waitlisted.
Yeah,
you can get them on Amazon.
Wow, this is the biggest one from what I've seen. This is like almost 13 inches tall.
I think there are a few that are a little taller in the 1/18th scale because I did look at them in the past. One of them, like the big brute one that's bigger than this, I think is 14.5 or 15.
So I'm gonna steal. There's so many. Like I said, this piece just came off. It didn't break off, but you can pop all these pieces off, and there's tons of detail. I'm going to be taking a bunch of these pieces and molding and casting them and repurposing them as details on dioramas. Because these are really cool on their own. Like this would be cool just sitting on top of a building or a wall.
It's like almost like a moisture evaporator too.
Exactly. Yeah. I was as I was assembling it, I'm like, this looks cool by itself. That looks cool by itself, you know? So I'm actually going to mold and cast these and modify them. So I'm not just copying somebody else's work and reuse them. Like I put tubes coming out of this and make some kind of a laboratory equipment piece or something. But these are very detailed.
No, you know what you should do?
Right? They're incredible.
Well, you've seen Star Trek, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you know all the props. So you know, like the one engine room, they have like, or even in any like sci-fi, you have the one tube or the three tubes where it's just red going back and forth. You should cross those, mold those, and then you put like fiber optics or like the LED strips in between the three. So literally, you have the prop that's in every science fiction movie or series.
There you go. I have a lot of crazy ideas like that. I got so much coming down the pipe, but thank you guys for having me on. I actually have to go do my stream now, so I will see you guys later. And I appreciate you guys bringing me on, but I got to get over to that one because I think people are probably already waiting for me.
No, go ahead. Thank you for your time coming over, man.
Appreciate it.
All right,
thank you.
You guys are awesome. I enjoy everything you guys do. Keep having fun.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Later, bro.
All right, so let's move on to the videos from Jazz Inc. real quick because I know people wanted to see some of the videos from because Lou was just talking about him earlier. So I'm not gonna use any sound. Well, use
the sound. There's no music. It's just the sound.
It's all music. Okay,
no music.
Yeah, and you know he ain't gonna gig us for promo and his stuff.
No.
Yeah.
There's no music.
All right, ready?
Yeah, we're not Toys Wonderland.
Wow.
Look at that rear, bro. Inside lights.
You know what though? If it's running off a sequence, I mean, does he have an Adreno in there? Because if it's well, no, because if you look at the back, is it just one LED lighting up after another, or is it in sequence? Because if it's a sequence
for the engine,
yeah, because that means it might be running off an Arduino, which might increase the price a little bit because it might be a little more complicated.
Yeah, it's flickering. It's two light sources there. It's a red one and a blue one.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's a sequence though. If it's tied in with the sound.
Oh, no. It just turns on. Like I think the sound is different itself.
Okay,
because if it does go in sequence, then I'm wrong. But from what I saw and what I hear, it's different.
Let me see. Someone's asking CJ. Nate, does Oilers have a Facebook page? Interested in seeing his work? If he has a Facebook, please message me. And bro, CJ, just head over to his channel, and most likely he has his stuff, his descriptions or whatever on his channel.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably has something because that's why what I would do. I would like. On my YouTube channel, I have all the Facebook groups, everything that's connected to Geeking Out. I have them right there. The 6-scale survival guide. I most likely Oilers does have it over there because I found Oilers through YouTube. I didn't find him through Facebook, so I don't know if he has a Facebook account. Maybe he does, but he had. I do talk to him through Messenger. So, But let me see what else. Doc is like, I wanted to see it rolling on the floor. Pretty sure he used the steel axe. Oh, okay. So Doc did tell him to make the the video of it rolling. Okay, that's pretty cool.
So this one might be more reinforced than the other one, so it can actually hold its weight without being supported in the bottom.
Yeah, you gotta remember, Jazz is basically learning from the prior mistakes from the past, so things just can go and get better. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the only issue is this: is that if this first batch isn't as good as the 2.0 batch, if there is a 2.0 batch, then you got the same scenario going on with the yes Batmobile.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking, whatever's made is what's being made. No changes are being made whatsoever. This is what you're gonna get, and that's that.
All right, that's the only thing. For me, I don't have to rush to get this at the moment because I'm working on other vehicles right now. But and at the end of the day, if Hot Toys does make one, I'll probably hop on with Hot Toys. But if this is particular for you guys want to have in your collection because of the sounds, because of the smoke effect, which looks really good. And the only thing I'm iffy with is weathering, but other than that, it looks great. It looks great. But I'll probably play the weight game until what I see what Hot Toys puts out, because I would like Hot Toys to flex. If Jazzing is flexing, Hot Toys flex. I want to see you guys flex on these vehicles, because I know you guys are doing great with your current vehicles right now. They're putting them out, DeLorean and what have you. But I would like to see more.
Now here's a question though.
What's up?
The bike that Batman was riding, was that a Ducati?
Was it a Ducati?
No, that's a BMW. I think it's not a touring. I think it's Cafe Racer. It's the one with the big. It's got the big block engines on both sides.
Okay.
Stick out.
Because I wasn't sure, because again, if there's another issue, if we're going to get, because we're talking about vehicles, if we're going to get a Batcycle, then we're going to also need to get potential licensing for for BMW.
Yeah. Well, that.
I mean, and the reason I'm talking about that is, again, from Transformers, like the Masterpiece line, they're based off real world vehicles. So the thing is, like, I can pull out boxes right now, and like, the Corvette's figure is actually licensed and has the Corvette logo. Like the Fords, they have the actual Ford logo, and they actually have the Ford logo on the figures and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I don't think the logo's on this particular vehicle, and it's modded slightly. So if
it's a Scrambler, sorry, it's based off the BMW Scrambler.
So if there's no identifying marks, that's
okay. Yeah. Again, I didn't, because again, I don't know bikes as well as I do other vehicles, so I didn't know if this is one of those issues. Because I know some, like if it was a Ducati's like, yeah, you have to put our licensing to make this. Whereas I don't know, other companies, they might not be.
Yeah, I think the reason why they did it with the Transformers specifically is because they were pushing the car. So every time a Transformer,
well, yeah, because they were supposed to be accurate.
Promotion for the next run of whatever the line is. Oh, this is the new Corvette. This is the new BMW. This is this. This is that. And
they're not gonna market the Batcycle as BMW. It's a BMW Scrambler that he mods into the Batcycle, so that way it'll just be labeled as a Batcycle.
Okay.
Exactly.
So they made enough changes to it to avoid any issue.
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. Because I'm pretty sure like BMW gave them the go ahead to use the bike in the movie, and then they just told them, hey, we're going to use your Scrambler, but we're going to transform it into the Batcycle, so there's no emblems or anything.
Oh, I was going to say this real quick. So Jazz Inc. is making the clean and the weathered version. So
so there you go.
So if you guys don't like the weathering on this, there's always the clean version. As for me, like I said, I'm going to wait to see what Hot Toys puts out. And yes, let me see who put this here. I'm going to buy I'm right here. Like, hey, if they's getting 6 Pennywise, you know he's getting 10 vehicles. Get out of your damn mind, all of you, of you out of your damn minds.
You know what should come with the weathered version? You should come with some of those cinder blocks, those like lane dividers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
Again, when we're not talking about anything that already isn't in the trailers.
I haven't watched most of the trailers. I have not watched.
It was in the first one.
Stay away from every. Oh damn it!
It was in the first. It was in the first trailer.
Then that's the one you're talking about. All right.
Yeah, believe me, we're talking about stuff that was in the first trailer. We're not going in depth to anything. We're being very, very
all right, cool.
generic.
Anything, I'll call Don on it because I haven't seen it yet. I only seen the first trailer and that's it.
Yeah, and I'm intentionally being really good about thinking about what I can and can't say because I don't want to spoil anything. Because there's some spots in it you're like, really, they did that, you know?
I just realized you shaved.
What?
I just realized you shaved.
Yeah, it was my mom's 65th birthday party.
It was a birthday party, man.
I was just looking. I was like, wait.
Yeah, I put the glasses on. I can do
it right now.
Yeah, I can do the Reno 911. You know, put the sunglasses on. Yep.
But all right, guys. I think we had a good stream today. Thank you all for coming in. We only got about 10 minutes before I have to end it. We started a little late because I was racing around Georgia trying to fix my damn car again because I hit another freaking nail on a drive to get lunch. And I come back. I spent $5 in lunch so I could spend $30 on a damn on patching up the freaking tire. And I was like, are you out of your damn mind world? Like, God, why, God?
Nate,
why?
take the little things as your issues. That's your, you know, like, remember Apollo 13, I know, hey, center engine cutoff, that's your one glitch for the mission. Just take it as that.
Another freaking tire I gotta patch up now.
You just patched one up the other day.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend literally $60 on freaking the. I literally spent like how much? Like what is let me see what's the NRD on the new Batman real quick. Give me a second. Let me see. Well, the new Bat, I think I spent the NRD on the new Batman, and Bat Signal. Yeah, on the new Bat, $51. Yes.
All right. Well, I mean, everyone's talking about vehicles, and I'll just say this real quick. And I showed the picture this morning in our chat. Blitzway's putting out some insane crap. They did a quarter scale, but Apollo 11 landing.
Apollo 11, yeah.
I'm
Which
seriously
is crazy because the first one they did was a 1/6 scale of that, and now they just brought out a bigger quarter scale version of it.
There's two quarter scale versions. They did 2 quarter scale astronauts. There's the modern one where it's the actual like EMU suit, the current suit where they have the jet thruster pack, where it's supposed to be, you know, working on the ISS, and this one is you know, where it's, you know, the Eagle has landed, he's coming down the ladder for the first one. The only thing is though is the width, because
it's wide.
Well, I mean, and not even, I'm sorry, it's the dimensional, like not the length, but the width, because I'm trying to see if I can put it next to my quarter scale Mark III, and it's smaller than the gantry, but not that much. And I'm still like, ugh. And even with a Majin case, the ones I had, I'd have to redo my shelving because of the height of that thing. It's 31 inches tall. So,
yeah, but it's a nice piece. I mean, it's highly detailed.
Isn't that similar to the one that Denobi had? The astronaut, he had the first one, right?
Yeah, well, that was the 1/6.
That's what I'm saying. Denobi's got the 1/6 scale. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is like the quarter scale. It's a statue. Yeah. But I break my, like, because after the Rancor thing, I'm like, yeah. But that thing is so detailed, and I'm like.
Oh, with Blitzway, you don't have to worry, dude. They package their things like really, really well. So, like, you don't have to worry about it breaking. It ain't gonna be a sideshow incident with you.
Exactly. Now, because the funny thing is, like, everyone's talking about these vehicles, and I'm like, why did I see that? Because that's now digging deep into my brain because I'm a space junkie, and that suit looks beautiful.
Dude. It's a nice piece, man. It's highly detailed. I mean, it's a standout piece. You could keep that in your living room, like just on a nice little stand, and people walk by and be like, "Damn, that's a nice piece. Where'd you get that?"
Exactly. I mean, it's one of those things, though. It's just like, yeah, I know first world problems. It's not like I'm going to Florida in 5 weeks, and so I'm going to drop a crap load of money there. It's just like,
daddy, chill.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's be realistic. When people come and see your collection, the first thing that comes into their mind is like, how much did that cost you?
Yeah.
That's the first thing of everybody's mind because they don't understand. They don't have that connection we do when it comes to collecting figures. You know, they're like, "Dang, how much did that cost you?" I'm like, "Why are you worried about the price? You can't appreciate the art."
Exactly. Well,
and then
that's
you tell them, they go, "Wow, that's way too much. I wouldn't spend that much money."
Well,
like,
the funny thing is,
but you'll drop like $800 on something retarded, but this lasts forever.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, I showed my dad the DeLorean, you know, and he saw the price or whatever. The first thing he said was, "Oh my God, that's awesome." And I'm like, "Yeah, I ain't getting it because, you know," I explained why. But when my dad, after like looking at my stuff, and my dad's you know, he's retired now, but was an electromechanical engineer, so he understands like the engineering of this stuff and how it's like art in form. So I mean, when my dad gets it, I'm like, okay, you know, it's kind of like that seal of approval I didn't need, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Is more of a connecting tissue between the two of you.
Exactly.
I get it.
Hey, so 5 minutes till we end the stream. So DonPrime, let me know what's going through your head as far as like this figure is concerned, because you told me the film is 8 out of 10 for you, right? But this figure set here, like, you wouldn't even purchase it, even the deluxe version, after watching the movie?
No. And again, at first, you know, when and again, just from one of the trailers, you know, he's walking up and you see all the rounds deflecting on him. Like, it was almost what we call like AR-500 steel plate armor, you know, where rounds, it's actual steel and body armor, they bounce off. But when I actually saw it today, I mean, there were some good parts, but they're just, and again, I love the way they did the cowl. Like, that's not my issue, but it's just other little things with the suit. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, certain ways, certain things go, I thought were great, but like, I'm not digging the shoulder pads. They almost look like Iron Man. It almost seems like they're aesthetic designs that are almost meant to replicate Iron Man in certain forms.
Well, I said it before, like they literally took Captain America and made him Batman.
I definitely can see what you're talking about, but again, I mean, I'm not harping on this. I thought the movie was great. It's just, for me, from my representative, if I was going to get one Batman, it's going to be the DX Bale one. So
okay.
But Pattinson, I was actually surprised. I thought Pattinson did a pretty damn decent job, especially with his fighting.
Okay.
And Mommy was pretty good at her fighting too. I was impressed with her stuff.
No, I'm just surprised. 8 out of 10 movie, but you're not feeling the figure. But what about the Bat Signal though? Because the Bat Signal you could purchase by itself.
I'll be honest with you. If I'm gonna get that, I'll go back and I'll try and find the original Dark Knight back. You know, that 2-pack. You know, with Detective Blake.
Yeah.
I'd go and look for that because this is almost like a 2.0 version of that kit. Because again, this is the second or third Bat Signal that Hot Toys has done.
Okay. Now I remember seeing the original Bat Signal that was made years back. But as for me, it's absolutely due for me. Yeah, at a 9 out of 10, especially how the film turned out, and also this figure set. I've seen people buying the deluxe edition, then buying the figures, the Bat Signal. I'm like, why did you do that? You just buy the figure set. Why do you? I think people have made the mistake of buying the deluxe edition separately from the Bat Signal. But there's the collectible set where you buy the deluxe edition and the Bat Signal.
Wait! I think I know why.
Why?
The points.
What's up?
Point system on Sideshow.
Yeah, with the expiring points and such, so people might have to burn them or lose them.
Yeah, but think about it. If you're purchasing points, like your points for this, and it's releasing all at the same time, right? Your deluxe Batman, the Bat Signal, and then the regular edition, and then the full set, right? If people are just breaking it down in pieces, what's the point system, or your point system that you're gonna have according to getting the full set versus separating the two?
I don't think you get. I don't think you get. I think you get more an incentive by buying the collector edition versus buying just the regular edition. Buying not buying the regular, buying the deluxe edition separately from the damn Bat Signal. That's the only thing. But I think that was a mistake for most people because they thought that just getting the bat signal, you have to get it separately. No, you could buy it through the collectability. The only way you'll be able to save money is if you use your coupons and buy the regular editions and the bat signal. That was the only way. If you use your coupons on both those figures, the bat signal and the regular edition. And my damn alarm. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me open this up. And shut up. So yes, that's the only way you'll be able to save money versus buying the collectible set with the Bat Signal Deluxe Edition. Because
now,
what's up?
I was gonna say now again, just because they did it kind of like as a sidecar, do you think we may get any, like background characters potentially, or if Hot Toys isn't going to do them, third party companies will? Gotham City Police. Considering,
maybe.
and again, I'm not going to say anything more.
Dig the cloth undersuit. We can actually pose this. Yeah. This is this is the most posable Batman I've seen so far. Like from what I've seen from the material and the photos we've gotten so far, this is the most posable Batman to date. And I'm glad that this is one reason why I'm purchasing it, because of the way you're able to pose this up quite nicely, and you don't have to worry about damaging the figure over time. And also I want to bring this up from Stacy. Everything is absolute. Nick, he's greedy. I'm not even getting. I'm not even getting Pennywise. Okay, I'm the victim.
Yeah,
here.
but again, Nate, you'll be sent 6. Right now they're doing their group buys. You're gonna end up with 6, and then you're gonna send me one, and we're just gonna take them into the range and be like, "No, not gonna have this evil in this house, Ricky Bobby." So
you can get home, and he's gonna be waiting right there on your coffee table.
He's gonna be like Chucky.
Yep.
So all right, guys, we are ending the stream now because I need to start actually getting ready for work. Hopefully, I'll be able to fix this damn tire tomorrow. So nothing's happening with the tire yet, but it's just that big giant nail that's freaking pissing me off. So I'm hoping I'm able to get it done tomorrow as early as possible. I think the closest place that opens up at 8 in the morning. I originally wanted to go there to get my tire done, right? But then they closed up at 3. And then I called up this other place that told me that, yeah, we're open. We'll be able to get it done before 5 o'clock. Okay, cool. I got there and they told me, oh, yeah, you spoke to our receptionist over in New York City who told you we'd be able to fix it by 5 o'clock. Are you out of your damn mind? New York? I'm in Georgia. Oh, my God.
Hey, well, I would tell you, New York City is the only place I've ever seen 24-hour garages where you can literally take your car in at 11:30 at night and pick it up at 3 in the morning fixed. So,
yeah, I just need to patch that tire. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Oilers, for coming in and sharing his thoughts on how would Hot Toys, either the actual vehicle was a tease or it was photoshopped. I love the insight he brought in for to the channel. I was like, wow, yeah. So it's made, it's out there. Just when, Hot Toys, when are you gonna get this out? That is the question. But that's only if though they had the licensing to get that out. That's the only thing. So
well, yep.
I hope they do. But anyway, guys, remember, we're just simple collectors trying to make our way in this freaking galaxy, and may the weapons be with you always.
Later, everyone.
Hey, go see Batman. So
Buy
don't be
4
spoiled.
Ecto-1s.